Hello dear students, very good afternoon. Welcome back to another episode of our news analysis. For those people who have joined just today or in recent times, I would like to make a strong request to all of you that you all should subscribe to the Hindu newspaper and of course spend a minimum 1.5 to 2 hours a day. Reading of the Hindu is very important and essential for succeeding in any of the All India exams. Hindu is the only English newspaper with national character that is available within the vicinity. So, please make sure that all of you read the newspapers and spend good quality time. It is not just the quantity of time that you invest, it is a quality of time that you invest which is going to matter much. It is not just to pick a few general awareness probable questions that I ask you to read the newspapers, but if you are a regular reader of the Hindu, the English paper of these exams will become easier. I have observed hundreds of times that for all the examinations, passages are lifted directly from the paper. So, a person with a good idea of things that are happening around them will definitely do very well at the time of the examination. So, it has got dual purpose, it will improve your language, it will help you get excellent score in the general awareness paper of your examination. So, today I am going to discuss the paper dated August 2. Generally we used to discuss the previous day's paper, but today I discuss the August 2 paper because I skipped that day's paper. So, please let us see the Hindu dated August 2. This is the greatest news of the day, the biggest news of the day. PV Sindhu has grabbed bronze medal in the Tokyo Olympics, only second woman to get 2 medals in successive Olympics, only Indian woman. Assam, Mizoram agree to ease border tension. We shall take topics one by one and discuss. Assam, Mizoram agree to ease border tension. We know that last month, July last, there were a few clashes between Assam and Mizoram people and police forces, and in which 6 Assam police force and 6 policemen of Assam police force and 1 civilian were killed. There have been tension along the border between Assam and Mizoram for long. This is not a new thing. The border dispute in northeastern state is not a new thing. The border issue is decades old, but things started getting violent turn from October 2020, and it culminated in an exchange of fire between the police forces of Assam and Mizoram, in which 6 policemen of Assam state and 1 civilian were killed. But now the governments of Assam and Mizoram, at behest of the central government, decided to settle the issue amicably. We discussed this particular matter in detail. The Hindu editorial was discussed by us, but I am reminding you. PV Sindhu bags bronze, scripts history. PV Sindhu bagged bronze medal in Tokyo Olympics, the first Indian woman. Listen, after a few months time, the question when they frame, it will be framed differently from the following information regarding PV Sindhu, which is wrong, then you should know all the points, right points with regard to her. So, it is not just straight questions that they are asking. PV Sindhu bagged bronze medal in Tokyo Olympics, point number 1. The first Indian woman to win 2 Olympic medals. The first medal was a silver medal in Rio de Janeiro Olympics in Brazil, and then she had won a silver medal, and now she won a bronze medal. PV Sindhu hails from Hyderabad and it is in Telangana. So, try to gather all possible information from PV Sindhu, very important from the perspective of your examination. They are not always asking straight questions, who has won, or PV Sindhu is associated with badminton. Such straight questions they may sometimes skip, rather they may ask lengthier question which may carry more information. So, when a national champion is born, an international champion from India is born, try to gather all the possible information regarding him or her. GST revenues hit 1.16 lakh crore in July, which is a kind of a solace for the government, because last month, after 8 long months of good growth, last month the GST collections went below 1 lakh crore. That was really worrisome to the government, but now it has picked up again. This is for the figure of July. The gross GST collections in July recovered sharply to 1,16,393 crore. It had slipped below 1 lakh crore in the previous month. That is a big worry for the government, and government claims that this recovery is from the second phase of COVID wave. So, government strongly believes that the economy is back on track and is back to the wheels of growth, but of course we have to wait and see what is going to be the impact. Listen, in 2020, when the national lockdown was announced, people had money, but shops were closed. So, there was demand, but there was no supply. Railway was almost shut down, so commodity exchange was minimum. Roads were shut down, so commodity exchange was minimum. There was no air traffic at all. So, considering all these things, even though people had money, they could not buy. So, it was a problem of supply. But this year, almost everything is open. Railway is almost back to normal. I think I am speaking about the commodity transport, that is almost normal. Commercial vehicles are plying like anything, like before, but people do not have money. In the last 1.5 years, people have drained all the balances that they may have, and they have lost their jobs. People do not have money. So, now this is going to be a demand side issue. Last year in 2020 it was a supply side issue, but it is going to be a demand side issue this time, and demand issues are more difficult to overcome. Okay. So, government claims sharp recovery anyway. Government is very optimistic. Let us hope that economy will soon be back on track. Long overdue. This is the Hindu editorial. Recently, the government of India decided to extend reservation, OBC reservation, to central government all India quota for medical and dental admission. That was long overdue. That is what the Hindu editorial says. The union government extended 27% reservation for OBC to all seats under AIQ, all India quota. 10% of all India quota seats will be from economically weaker sections. So, 27 for OBC and 10% for economically weaker sections of the society. The all India category, all India quota is a category created by the Supreme Court to free up some seats from residential and domicile requirements in some states for admission to their medical colleges. This was introduced in 1986. All India quota comprised 15% of undergraduate and medical dental seats and 50% of postgraduate seats surrendered by the states for admission through central pool. Listen, there are medical colleges and dental colleges in different states. Out of the total seats, a few seats would be surrendered to the central pool. From that central pool, 27% is presently now will be reserved for the other backward classes, and 10% will be reserved for all India economically weaker sections. So that is the essence of the decision. It is very important from the perspective of your exams too. What have been the recent changes that the government brought forth with regard to reservation in medical and dental colleges? You should know, and this is it. Here I have given up a small story about All India quota. All India quota is nothing new. This was permitted following a Supreme Court verdict, and it was introduced in 1986. And what is All India quota? It comprised 15% undergraduate medical and dental seats, 15% postgraduate seats would be given to the central pool, and out of which now 27% will be given for OBCs and 10% for economically weaker sections. The Hindu says that this has been long overdue, and Hindu commends the government on the decision. Compliment. Chief Information Commission flays government's denial of details on oxygen panel. We know that many people died for the want of oxygen in hospitals. So, an RTI request, Right to Information Act request, was filed by an activist in April 2021 seeking information from a 9-member empowered group set up a year earlier. In 2020, the government had set up a 9-member empowered committee to oversee the supply of COVID related medical equipments and disposables. What did they do and what actions were taken by them? To know that, a right to information request application was filed by a right to information activist in the month of April 2021, but the government denied, saying that it is of national importance, national security. This is the every time saying of the government. Whenever governments do not want to disclose any information, they will cite national security. Exemptions on the ground of national security. What national security is there when information regarding movement of medical goods is asked? The commission has directed the government, to respond to the request within 10 days. Listen, right to information was passed in the first half of this first 2003, I believe, 2002-2003 Right to Information Act was passed by the Indian Parliament. Of course, it was one of the landmark lawmaking by the Indian Parliament, empowering people to know from their governments. But ever since then, the bureaucracy, the governments, the politicians, all have been trying to drag their feet. They do not want people to know things. So, whenever possible, wherever possible, doesn't matter whether it is your state government or the central government, they will drag their feet not to disclose information that is sought by their people. It is quite unfortunate that governments have still, despite completing almost 15 years since the act, governments are still reluctant to understand the reality and the changed reality that governments have to be more and more transparent. Myanmar junta ruler takes Prime Minister's rule. Myanmar is our neighboring country. National League for Democracy of former Nobel laureate Aung San Suu Kyi won elections, national elections in Myanmar, general elections in Myanmar, and they took power. But on February 1, 2021, the military, through a bloodless coup, outthrew the government, and they started ruling themselves. The Myanmar's military ruler Min Aung Hlaing has taken over as the Prime Minister of the country now. Listen, a democratically elected government by the National League of Democracy was dethroned by the military through a coup, bloodless coup, and the military imposed its own authority on people. Ever since then, there have been continuous protests taking place in Myanmar. Despite that, the military ruler has decided to take over the power of Prime Minister. In February, the military had taken over power from the civilian government. Army seized power on February 1, 2021, following elections that were won by Aung San Suu Kyi's party. What is that? It is National League for Democracy, NLD. Aung San Suu Kyi's party's name is National League for Democracy. The military accused the elections were fraudulent. That was the reason cited by the military. They accused that the elections were conducted fraudulently, and that is why they toppled the government. Thank you very much, my dear students, for participating. Expect news analysis tomorrow also. I shall be coming, conducting the general awareness for today's July 5th paper. So, make sure that you all read. For those who have joined just recently, I have got a humble request. All of you should subscribe to the Hindu and spend good quality 2 hours reading the newspapers, assimilating the information and taking them down whenever necessary. I have given plenty of general awareness notes through the app. Recently, the entire general awareness for July is published and 3 general awareness tests are published. Always watch the feed sections for new items. So, all must be done. It is not just that you have to do the test. After doing the test, the solutions, the detailed notes also must be read. So, the same thing, similar thing may be read everywhere, so that it will get stuck to your mind, and at the time of the examination I am sure that you will do good. So, that is the history of ICD, and we have always done very well in general awareness, and I am sure that my students will respond to my request to subscribing to the Hindu newspaper and reading it very well. Newer sessions, a few more sessions are coming up today, live sessions. Make sure that all of you attend those sessions. Thank you very much. Have a very nice day ahead of you. Goodbye.